What's going on, everyone? Jack from Half Prone. So I was flying my Cinewhoop the other day. This is the iFlight Megabee, and as you can see, we had a little mishap. Doing a power loop, and Cinewhoops are best at doing acrobatic moves. Actually, it was more of a pilot error than anything else, but I'll blame the whip, right? So we crashed. Nothing major, right? This is the duct. It broke. Flying in the cold, that'll happen. I'm going to replace that, right? So no big deal. Anyway, I was thinking, what about the Mavic Mini, right? I have these propeller guards. Could I make that a Cinewhoop? So, you know what? I did. So we threw on some propeller guards and a little FPV camera on our Mavic Mini, and now this is a Cinewhoop. How does it do? How does it stack up? What do you think? Well, let's find out. All right, so the footage you're watching here is actually the iFlight Megabee. So I'm starting with a real Cinewhoop, and this is my favorite Cinewhoop. Now, I've built a few. I built a Tyro one for about $100 if you're into how can I do it inexpensive. I did a kind of a custom build, but this is kind of a ready-to-fly deal for just under $300. Really, really like it. You can see I'm kind of messing with the video speeds here. That's something you could do with Cinewhoops. It kind of has a nice little effect. Now, this is actually the flight that I wrecked it, so that's coming up here. But yeah, this is fun. I like flying these things. We're going to slow down here for the crash. Well, we know how this power loop is going to end, and it doesn't end pretty. So let's get the Mavic in the air, and I'm going to try and replicate some of that with the Mavic. Now, I'm actually flying with the phone here, and just because I wanted to see how does it react. And you can see I have to stop and go. I actually sped this video up 2 times speed. I just cannot trust the video speed coming out of the phone. I just can't rely on it. This is not actually an FPV view, so you notice it's not tilting. I'm keeping the gimbal straight, so maybe I'll mess with that in the future, but it just is not flyable FPV wise through the phone. Too many glitches. So let's put a camera on it and see how it does with that. All right, so let's take a look at what we've actually done here, right? The first thing you really do want is a little FPV camera. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do it. This is the cheapest, most inexpensive way. Maybe that's not the best option when you're thinking about your $500 investment, but for indoors, it's super easy. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of components. You buy one of these all-in-one FPV cameras. You stick it on top with some double-sided sticky tape, and I'm actually going to use rubber band or some zip ties to really hold it down when I'm flying. But indoors, it's not going to need a whole lot more. I did kind of layer this, you can see, so that I get a little bit of an angle going on here, and then I'm just going to plug a 1S battery into this. This is just a JST 1.25 plug, and I've got plenty of those little batteries laying around from Whoops. So that, and then you add these propeller guards, right? So if you're flying inside, highly recommend it. Not so much for the drone, right, to keep the drone safe, but to keep my walls safe. And these are pretty easy to put on. Let's see, you just kind of slide them in place, right? And then they clip here, and it clips right there. And now we got a whoop. Okay, so now we got the Mavic Mini Cinewhoop coming at ya. Let's see how it goes. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner, I have my FPV feed. Now, that is what I see through the goggles. You'll notice the field of view is much wider. That is absolutely helpful because the Mavic camera is pretty darn narrow. So it's kind of a necessity. Plus, I don't have the glitching that I had that I showed you when I was flying outdoors. That just was so difficult, and you just can't trust it, even flying nice and slow. So I recommend you fly in the Cine-Smooth mode, and then you kind of speed it up. But, so this is the problem I kept having right here. It's getting stuck. I'm losing video transmission. Of course, I can't see that because I'm on my goggles and I'm trying to push it through, and it's just not going. Now, I'm not far. I just went down the hall and up. Gosh, it's just, I'm like, what the heck is going on? And now it's just coming down and landing. I lost video transmission. Yeah, not that far away. So I'm going to try it again, and got to the same spot. I can see the opening that I want to push through, but it's not going. All right, so I'm going to try it from a different angle. Now, there's a couple of issues here. One, I'm flying in a house. I've got my Wi-Fi on. Two, I added some extra weight to it with that little camera. But that's the weight, that's not the issue. It's the transmission feed. So I've got a lot of signals going to it, and I think that is a contributing factor here. So as I get through the hall, I'm like, I'm working it. I'm making it through. I get a little excited to bump the wall. That's where those prop guards come in handy. And I get to Sal, that's our elf. I get to the tree, and I just cannot push past the tree. Again, I'm losing video signal. So, you know, as a Cinewhoop with the camera as I intended, not super fantastic. So, you know, is it all lost? No, you still can get some pretty good cinematic footage indoors. But what I decided to do was, well, I decided to walk behind the drone and kind of fly it through the house, watch it, line of sight, work the gimbal. So I'm not flying through the goggles. It just was not doable. I think I have some ideas on how to make it work. So I'm going to try those. We're going to try maybe Mavic Mini Cinewhoop Part 2. So I think I can get this thing working. It'll be pretty fantastic. But, you know, I wanted to fly through this house. There are a lot of really interesting trees like this one that is actually snowing. And, you know, there's the big tree coming up here. You know, this house is really well decorated, I think. So I figured I'd try and shoot it with the Mavic Mini indoors. Now, keep in mind, when you add those prop guards, you're actually going over the FAA weight of 250 grams. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter when you're inside. The FAA has no jurisdiction, so you don't have to register if you're just flying with those guards indoors. I got another nice little tree here. And, hey, why not check ourselves out in the mirror? Gosh, looking good, Mavic Mini. So, you know, you can get some decent cinematic footage. You can see I'm kind of speeding up the video here, not the drone itself. It's actually the video that's speeding up. But it kind of adds a nice little effect. Speed, slow, speed, slow. You can add some cinematic qualities here. But, yeah, this is a fun little toy. It does great video. Is it a Cinewhoop? Well, you know, like I said, I've got to try some other things. You know, just slapping a camera on it and flying around the house, it didn't quite do it. But still get some pretty decent pictures. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know what you think. You got a better idea? Let us know what you would try. Love to hear from you. Good luck and happy flying.